This kid made over $1 million making Roblox games, and we're about to find out exactly how he did it. Imagine being a kid and now having millions of Robux. Guys, you can do this too. We're about to watch this video from Noodly, how I became a Roblox millionaire at only 16. Subscribe if you want to be a millionaire too. Okay, let's find out how he became a million. That's not him, that's Jandel.
And standing alongside him are tons of other rich Roblox developers. And unfortunately, this is me. But wait, I also became a Roblox millionaire. But before I show you guys how much Robux I actually have, let's start from the beginning.
Apparently this guy's only 16 years old and he's a millionaire. We're gonna find out how he did it, cause I want to be a millionaire too. Guys, subscribe if you also want to be a millionaire.
All the way back to 2017
okay.
when I first joined Roblox. And at the time, I was only 8 years old. And while I was growing up, I never had a computer. And instead, I was an iPad kid. I had just discovered Roblox and I quickly got addicted. And
okay, so 2017 he was 8 years old? That's bad because in 2017 I was 16. And by the time he was 16, he was a millionaire!
And the addiction got so bad where I would literally be playing Roblox every single day, every chance I had.
Me too.
And while I was playing games, I just thought it was so cool how normal players can just make a front page game and end up becoming rich and famous.
Stickmaster
and I
Luke.
wanted that to be me. But there was a slight issue. Like I said before, I didn't have a computer. And to even think about making Roblox games, you obviously needed one. But that would all change when 2020 comes around and my dad gets me a gift.
It's a computer.
He gets me my first ever laptop. I was hyped. So I immediately installed Roblox Studio, opened up a new base plate, and searched up a tutorial.
Imagine his dad just buying him a computer made his kid a billionaire. I hope he gave his dad some money.
Today I'll be teaching how to create a very easy and simple clicks leader stats. So first we have to create a simple function that counts how many clicks you have. Very easy stuff. Then we could just add some remote events and store
I don't know what any of this means.
And finally we can just wrap everything.
I'm a YouTuber, not a coder hacker, man.
Clicks leader stats. And if you guys couldn't follow along with this easy tutorial, then you're cooked. You should just quit. Until I realized making Roblox games isn't as simple as bagging two rocks together.
Really hard.
I had no clue how to code and was too stupid to try and learn it, so I gave up and went to bed.
Sounds like me.
The very next day, I hopped back on Studio, determined to make a game even with my limited knowledge. So I got to work and I started building and parkour to get free admin.
Okay, wait, this is his Roblox profile right here. Noodly #1. Let's go to his profile and see, is he actually telling the truth? Is he a millionaire? Noodly _1. And okay, there he is, 15 million plus visits. And there's his group. He has a game with 17 million visits. How much money does this make you? We're about to find out. But how did he do this?
Building and parkour to get free admin. Yeah, this was my first game. Can we just take a second to admire this description? You are selected to have a chance to parkour to heaven and get admin. P.S. This game has no checkpoints. Only reason this game had no checkpoints is because I didn't know how to make them. And looking back, it was so bad.
Oh my god.
I'm pretty sure everything in this game was straight from the toolbox. And the funny part is, nothing at the end worked, not even the admin. So like the 10 people that played this game got scammed. And the obby was so short, I'm pretty sure you could beat it in like 10 seconds.
Dude, this is one of his first games.
Garbage, nobody played it, which completely demotivated 11-year-old me, and so I ended up quitting.
He quit Roblox?
So around a year has passed and little old me stumbles upon a YouTube video. Unfortunately, the video got privated, but it was basically just some guy making a Roblox game, and I found that so cool. Wait, wrong video! But this inspired me to maybe give Studio another try. So I hopped back on and started messing around with different game ideas like obbies, story game, and whatever
this is an insane story.
Then I started experimenting with building environment and terrain, and with every game I made, I slowly improved. Like, take a look at this map. I'd say this was my best build back then. It was supposed to be an RPG game, but the furthest I got into making an RPG was taking an NPC from the toolbox, then quitting the project halfway through. And this was the same story for every game I made. Remember those games I showed you guys a second ago? Yeah, not a single one was released. I would always start projects, but I would never finish them. The biggest reason was because I still did not know how to code. It was like trying to learn how to run before you could walk, which led to every project dying.
And all the games just
once again died. I lost all my motivation and I officially uninstalled Roblox.
Again? What is he doing? Alright, 1 year later, 2 years later. We're gonna get to 3 years later. Oh my, 4 years later. 5 years later. Okay, that
So
makes
now
sense
it's
because
been
now he's
around 5
16.
years and a lot has happened. I moved houses, got a new computer, and time has just flown by. Once again, I'm on YouTube, but this time I discovered Roblox game development YouTubers.
Sup guys? If you've ever played Roblox
This
before, you've
Roblox
probably seen
game
this image
cannot
of
fail.
an intense
I
game
will tell
where
you
you're
why in a
clicking
second.
I fell in love with this type of content and binged it, and while I watched, it sparked something inside me. I remembered my game development phase years ago and thought that maybe, just maybe, I should reinstall Studio. But then I remembered that I still could not code, and there's just no way that I'm going to be able to.
Okay, it's funny because now in 2026, we can literally use AI to code for you and make Roblox games for you. It's insane.
AI? You mean this could code your whole game for you? This
he's talking about it now.
amazed me and is a total game changer. But this might also be a massive mistake later. After some thinking, I started working on a new game. But this time, I was determined to not quit like all those other projects back then. When I started, it was spring break for me, so I had a lot of time on my hands. I spent every day during my break just working on this game and grinding it out. And with AI by my side doing the coding, I felt unstoppable. It's time to introduce you guys to
Crazy.
Obby, but you're a farting monkey.
This game is
Dude,
straight.
nice.
Who do you think you are? Come here right now. The concept was simple. You were a monkey and you fart to complete the obby. You could fart upwards or forwards and you would use it to beat obstacles. But this game was really bad. Like really
I
really
kinda
bad.
like
There
the
were so
concept.
many
It's a
bugs
good
and
idea.
It was very difficult to use the controls because all of the code was AI. I thought that it could make an entire game for me, but I found out that it definitely could not. The map was also
Hey,
horrendous
yo!
and overall the game was just terrible. And from 3,000 visits, this game has made 377 Robux. Now usually what
wow.
happens is sad music
Okay, maybe
starts
that's
playing
not
and
very
I tell you
good.
that I quit. No, even though 377 Robux doesn't seem like a lot, it was my first ever taste of Robux. This motivated me even more and it will soon pay off. Make sure you keep watching because it gets crazy. But before we continue, if you guys don't want to struggle like I did, then the sponsor of today's video, DM
Oh,
Productions,
come
might help you
on.
out.
Okay, you know what? Fair enough. Fair enough. But
Let's
sorry
say
to tell you,
play an entire
bro.
game, and
We're
their team
skipping
will
the
bring it to
sponsor.
life or ask you guys
Goodbye,
wanna check it out, the
sponsor.
link. Instead of giving up, I realized where I went wrong and finally decided to fix it. Around this time, I was in a coding class in my school, and although it was a different language from Lua, it built my understanding of code. On top of that, I would start watching Roblox Studio coding
Oh, you
tutorials.
learned how to
And after
code
around
then.
a month of doing this, I felt more ready than ever and started working on a new game. I admit, I still used AI, but instead of having AI do all the work, instead, I worked and learned alongside. Whenever I didn't understand how to make something, I would have AI create it and then explain to me how it works.
Okay, so the first time he used AI to make the entire game, it went poorly, and now he's just using AI to help him, which is so much smarter.
I would ask where I went wrong. This method honestly helped me learn so much. And so, after around 2 months of non-stop development, Swim Clickers was born.
Swim
my bad. That
Clickers.
sounded way cooler in my head. Anyways, the game is a clicking simulator where every click you swim faster and faster. And you can reach extremely high speeds. You would then use that speed to beat challenges where you could earn wins. And with those wins, you could hatch pets, unlock gear, and discover new areas. The difference between this game and my previous game was like night and day. Sure, it didn't look
Dude,
the best,
that's
and
awesome.
There was a lot of bugs, but I was proud of it. So to advertise this game, I released my first ever YouTube video. Don't watch it though. It was like pretty bad. But you guys should totally like check out my other videos. And while you're there, why don't you also subscribe? No, go back up. I see that you're not subscribed.
Wait, that's a good way to get people to subscribe. Guys, while you're here too, make sure to subscribe. No. Go back up. Hit the subscribe. Okay, hopefully that method worked.
Anyways, the video started getting views and the people who watched went to go play the game, and at its peak it had 15 CCU. Although it seems
Okay.
small, it was the most amount of
Okay.
players I've ever had playing my game before. After seeing this success, I kept on updating this game, but unfortunately, it never managed to hit the algorithm. Not because the game was trash, but because the genre
Huge shout out
of
to this
clicker
guy
games
for not
was
giving
long
up though.
dead.
That's crazy.
These type of games rarely ever got popular anymore. However, I didn't let this get me down because the game has made a total of 20,000 Robux.
Okay.
That was the most amount of Robux I have ever touched in my life.
Now remember, he said he's a Roblox millionaire, so something crazy is about to happen, and he's about to make way more.
And I was so hyped to finally see my work pay off. And although the game didn't make it far, it only lit a fire underneath me to keep going.
100%, it made him motivated. Alright, 2 weeks
After
later,
learning that my
guys.
last game didn't hit the algorithm because of its genre, I wanted to create a new game, but this time with an actual popular genre. At the time, these weird looking creatures called brain rots were blowing up. Little kids just loved them for some reason. And as you probably know, along with it came a bunch of brain rot games, but one stood out in particular. It was called My Singing Brain Rots. All it was just a copy of another game called My
Singing Monsters.
But instead of monsters, it was brain rots. Now when it released, it was growing extremely fast, getting over 100k CCU and over 200 million visits in just a couple weeks. And it was so obvious that this was going to be a trend very soon. And I wanted to hop on it as soon as possible. But I needed an idea first. So instead of brain rots, I chose YouTubers. I know, like I'm such a genius, bro. So I got straight to work.
Wait, so we did My Singing
development
YouTubers?
process was very challenging. I was working with systems that I have never even touched before, and I had no clue what the heck I was doing. And it felt like every new system was a whole nother mountain I had to climb. But eventually, I was able to finish the game. 2 months later.
Wow.
The game was simple. You purchase these play buttons, you go to your plot and place them. They then hatch into YouTubers, and over time, they make you money and music.
Okay.
I was
pretty
happy
good
with how
concept.
this game came out, and it felt way better than my previous game already. However, by the time I finished, there were already so many other singing games made, and I was so late to the trend. I thought this game failed for sure, yet still, I released it. I then went ahead and invested most of the Robux I made from swim clickers into advertisements. After the first week of ads running, it didn't really give me much. The game was only averaging 3 to 8 players daily, and the stats were mediocre. This discouraged me. I thought that I was too late to the trend and that this game was a flop. But I waited. And how wrong I was. The next time I checked on it, it hit 30 CCU, and this blew my mind. I thought that this was its peak, but not even a couple hours later, I went to check my phone again and it was at over 100.
That's
and then
crazy.
the next day, it was at 200. And later that weekend, it peaked at 453 players. I have no words to explain how happy I was to hit this number. I mean, just a couple days ago, I was celebrating when the game hit 10 CCU.
This
Now
is
it's
an
almost
amazing
at
story, dude.
500. With this amount of players in my game, it was generating crazy amounts of Robux. And during its lifetime, it's made over 600,000
my
Robux, but that's not the
gosh.
only source of income. There's also something called creator rewards, and how it works is the longer players stay in your game for, the more money that the developer makes. And from creator rewards alone, it's made 172,000 Robux, bringing the grand total to 801,365 Robux. I couldn't believe it. I felt like this was a dream. I invested only 20,000 Robux into this game and got almost $1 million in return.
That's actually crazy. Only 20,000, but it was still a big investment. Imagine just throwing away 20,000 Robux, not knowing if you're gonna get it back.
So relieved that all the time and effort I put into this game did not go to waste. The game continued to keep getting players, but as the singing trend slowly died, so did my game. But I was so satisfied with how this game performed. I was determined more than ever to keep going, leading to the creation of my very next game.
1 week
Now
later.
the reason why my singing YouTubers performed so well was because it followed a popular trend. But the issue with that is trends, they die quick.
out.
The games following the trends have massive growth at first. Then as people begin to get bored and lose interest, all these games die out. So for my new game, I didn't want it to just follow a trend that would eventually die in a month. Which led to me doing some digging, and I found out that obbies, one of Roblox's oldest genres, are still pretty popular to this day. But there's a modern version now of this genre called 2-player obbies. It's a trend that's very old and has lasted for a long time, and these games still get a decent amount of players. And I knew that this genre will always be around because people will always want games to play with their friends. Now there were already so many different types of 2-player obbies, and it felt like there was no more ideas
Alright,
left.
so we
that I
found a
could
way to
do.
make
Would
it
you still
unique.
love me if I was a worm?
Wait,
the-
say that again.
What the?
Would you still love me if I was a worm?
You're
Where
a
did he
genius.
come
the
from?
idea is, one player would be a worm and the other would have to carry them through the whole obby. Since this game was an obby, I thought it would be much simpler to code than my last games, right? Right?
And
I
he
got
was
straight
wrong.
to work, and since I actually had Robux this time, I commissioned a builder to make me a map while I scripted the game. And it actually wasn't too bad, but I did encounter a lot of bugs which delayed the game. And after another month of work, the game was finally finished. There were 3 maps that the players could beat, and these maps
Wow,
were pretty
that
big.
looks
The players
really
carried the worm
good.
in a flower pot, and they had to work together to beat stages, with the worm needing to press buttons.
Alright,
to
how
let
much
their
money
partner
do you
get
think this
past. It was a
game
simple
paid this
concept,
guy?
but it was pretty fun in my opinion. And once again, I went ahead and used Robux to advertise. In the first couple of days, it only had a handful of players, but for some reason, the CTR was extremely high, and I knew it was only a matter of time before this game blew up too. So I waited and waited. 2 weeks had passed and still nothing. The game didn't hit the algorithm yet, and it was
It took
only
that
averaging
long.
a couple players. At this point, I thought that the game was done. Maybe I was wrong about this genre still being popular. So I went to bed thinking that it was over. When I woke up, I went to check my game and 200 CCU? I checked the stats and saw that it finally reached the algorithm. A couple days later, it would climb to 600, beating
Oh my
previous
goodness.
CCU record. And later that day, it would go on to 1,000, then
Oh
2,000.
my
And on the
goodness.
weekends again, it hit 5,000 players. I was over the moon. I wasn't expecting to hit such an insane number. I was literally about to give up on the game. And the sales were coming in crazy. I would refresh my page and there would be like 20 new sales. But now, for the moment you've all been waiting
How
for.
much
did
money?
this game make me? Drum roll, please. 1.7
Oh
million
my
Robux.
gosh.
Wow. And with creator rewards making me 700,000
Oh my
Robux, I made a
gosh.
total of 2.4 million Robux. Never in my life did I think I would touch a number this big. But the dream I had when I was a kid finally came true.
This was an amazing video. Make sure to subscribe to him in the description down below. And me too.